Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. It is a wonderful day. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Such a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? How you guys doing, man? It's your boy Phantm Phuego, Phantm Phuego, and I'm here to bring you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of his ghetto point of view. Ooh, yeah. What's going on, gang? For real. I hope everybody's having a good one. Um, I really do hope everybody's having a good one. I hope everybody has a great day. And I hope you guys are enlightened and somehow um, able to weave through the minutia, the bullshit. We're able to weave through the nonsense and get to a point where you have better understanding and clarity and wisdom. Because this is crazy, you know? The times we living in is crazy. Congratulations to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They were officially sworn in today during the inauguration ceremony. You know, big ups to them. Excuse me, drinking some black tea because I'm feeling black today. Black on black on black. I'm wearing all black, drinking black tea. It's a black kind of day with a black lighter. I don't got no black weed though. I got black socks on. You dig me? I got black hair. Yeah, I think that's where it ends though. Mm-mm-mm. Really good. I caught the film. I think we talked about this the other day, but Outside the Wire, man. If you guys haven't caught that yet with Anthony Mackie, it is absolutely brilliant. And the kid that plays Franklin Saint, who is actually just a spinoff of the character Freeway Ricky Ross. They both do their thing in the field. It's 2032, a dystopian Europe. Definitely catch that if you can. It's very, very, very good. It's very, very, very good. But yeah, man, congratulations to Kamala and Joe. Man, I've heard so many crazy things was supposed to pop off today. It looks to be a very relative, very quiet, very, all things considered quiet transition of power. Like nothing crazy has happened. Like, I mean, when I say I was hearing things, like I was hearing things was a gong to a guan today. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard, man, many of you have heard similar theories about today's activities. I mean, I'm honestly a little relieved that nothing insane is happening because are you ready for war? I'm not. I can honestly say I'm not ready for war. Like I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like people talk about, oh, you should get reserve food and stuff. Man, I got maybe a pack of Tic Tacs. I got maybe one pack of oodles and noodles, a pack of Tic Tacs, my fridge all empty. Like I would not make it, man. I'm always eating dope food from AJ's Kitchen. They be catering. Shouts to AJ's Kitchen, by the way, all the amazing food they make. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. AJSKITCHINN. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. Happiness served, order up. So if I got the lovely folks at AJ's cooking for me, man, I be in here starving. Starving. I don't got near. I ain't got no rice. Got no beans. I got nothing. I got no water. Yo, I would literally pass away from starvation. Like, I don't mean to say it like that, man, but it would get really bad really fast. I got stuff that you cannot eat at all. I got like books. I got books. I got stuff that you, man. I'm be in here. At least I'll be able to make a fire, right? I won't freeze. I might starve. I might have to eat books. Jeez. I'm gonna have to eat books. Old ink books, yellow paper, old books. I wouldn't know what to do, man. I'd be in here messed up. It'll get really bad for me really fast. I have nothing. I have nada. Zilch. I don't got like no first aid, nothing. So like if I got hurt, it'd be a wrap. I ain't got no man, like I have nothing, man. I have nothing. They say you should have like candles and batteries, and, flashlight. Like I have zero. I have zero of these things. What would I do? Like what would I really do if it popped off? Nothing. Nothing. But be caught out there. And it would be really bad. So I'm kind of happy that, I have to be honest. You know, I'm a little happy. And did I get everything I wanted with this inauguration? I don't think anybody can say they got everything they wanted. I think this was, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel Trump's stamp is on this new regime as well. You be like, what you mean? What you mean Trump stamp is because Trump's whole thing was, he wasn't the best. You might have felt the ways about him as a person, but one of the things you have to say is that man was a negotiator. He's a businessman. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but he's always in debt. He's always in debt. He doesn't have money. He's always in debt. He's filing for bankruptcy. I mean, that's his whole business model. For anybody who wasn't aware, his whole business model is leveraging debt. What does that mean? That means, how some people, they'll get a credit card so they could go buy Jordans, or get a credit card so they could take a vacation or go get a car, whatever. He might get a credit card so he can take a lavish vacation as well, but he's going to write it off as a business trip under his LLC, which he probably also paid for with a credit card. He probably paid for registering his company with credit, got more credit after he registered the company, and used that credit to pay off the first set of credit, and then got another set of credit to pay off the second set of credit. And as he continues to leverage credit to build his company's looking better and better and better. And he keeps getting to get access to bigger amounts of credit to leverage for his company. Now, don't get me wrong. I know his grandfather was like this super genius who worked with like Nikola Tesla and all that, or worked on the same type of things that Nikola Tesla did. His father was also a very shrewd businessman, and I believe also into realty as well, and definitely investing. So I understand all those things about his fam, that he definitely came from some finance, he came from a little bit of money. So they definitely gave him a leg up and a bump in the right direction. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is to get to the level that he got to, a lot of that was using leveraged debt. So yeah, he might have had to come to the table if he wanted for example, if he wanted a $5 million loan, to renovate some homes, let's say, he probably had to come to the table with 250 grand cash, put it into account, or $500,000 cash, put that into account, and then they give him access to like $5 or $10 million in credit, so he can use that 5 to 10 million to be like, boom, let me go do all of this. And cool, if he did that, then not only does he get to keep the money that he had to leverage to get the deal, but then he now has all of these new assets which he can use to flip and make money. So to me, I feel like people kind of had to negotiate him out of the office. And what do I say by that? Because a lot of people don't feel like Kamala and Joe was their top choice. They just feel like it was either the what we call quote unquote lesser of two evils. So they had to negotiate with themselves and with other people on why this was the best deal. So I kind of feel in that regard, Trump had his hands on this thing on his way in, and Trump had his hands on it on his way out. And I think going forward after this election, many other elections will be dictated on those same type of compromising narratives. It's always been the lesser of two evils, but it's never been to this degree, in my humble opinion, where it's like we can't clearly see that that they're both evil. It kind of came across, and I'm not saying again, oh, Trump is this evil guy. What I'm saying is, I honestly think that they both have character flaws, but people voted for who they felt had the least character flaws. And that is a thing that happens in business, compromises all the time. And so I feel that that business style of selecting the president will be stamped and ingrained going forward. Mark my words, man. It's his ghetto point of view. God damn, this black tea is on point. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys didn't let this stuff ruin your day too much. You know, I definitely was checking in on the inauguration, and it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. But what else was going on in the world? 40,000 plus almost 41,000 people in Florida, in the state of Florida, I should say, have reportedly skipped out on their second dose. They are overdue for their second dose. They never went back for their second dose of their vaccine. As we know, everybody's been the big thing in the news. One of the biggest things, the biggest stories is the COVID-19 vaccine. And the Department of Health of Florida says nearly 41,000 people are overdue for their second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Didn't show up, no shows for the second. To me, that just raises a red flag, because it's like if everything is going smooth and everything's all good and it's smooth sailing with the shot, why would 40,000 people plus almost 41,000 people not show up? And if they telling us it's 40,000, what if it's really 80? What if it's 120? What if it's 160,000? What if it's 360,000 people that really didn't show up? Because some people say what they tell you times about 9 or times about 10. So what if it's 400,000 people that didn't want to show up for their second shot? It's not that far-fetched. Florida's huge. Florida's one of the places that they would have to arguably vaccinate millions of frontline workers. They easily have a couple 100,000 healthcare professionals in Florida. Easily. If not a million. Easily. If not a million. Easily. So what if half a million people just said, nope, not going back. So let's check out this article, Fox News article, Fox 13 to be precise. Dr. Thomas Unashk is a researcher and public health professor at the University of South Florida. He also happens to be one of the 915,897 lucky Floridians who have been able to secure their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. So you see, yeah, almost 1 million people in Florida already have, reportedly gotten a vaccine. So 400,000 people not going back, to me, is not far-fetched. That's like half the people, a little less than half. It's not far-fetched at all. Next week, he'll get his second shot, joining the 91,819 people in Florida who are now considered immune. Though I don't know how they can be considered immune when they're saying you still have to wear the mask, you still have to socially distance, and it's been reports that people who have already had their second shot still have come down with COVID-19. And the thing about that's interesting to me is the first shot is in your system for 2 or 3 weeks of time before you get to the second shot. And that's only if you get it on time. If you wait additional time to get the second shot, that means the first shot has been in your system and should have been able to get to work for 2, 3, 4 weeks. And then you get the second shot. And then you still get it. Red flag. Anyway, they handed me the card and said, "You're all set. You're all set to go. Come back in 3 weeks at exactly the same time. It will give you the second dose. Explain Unox." However, as of Sunday afternoon, the Florida Department of Health's website shows that thousands of Floridians are missing that follow-up appointment, as nearly 41,000 people are now overdue for their second dose, and that's who they tell us. So imagine who they're not telling us, A, and B, I don't want to sound all conspiracy crazy, but come on, they're gonna make it look as palatable as it can. They're gonna make it look easy to digest. They're gonna make it not look crazy, because if they tell you like 400,000 people said, "Nah, we're not going back for the second shot," that's gonna make people be like, "Well, why?" If they told you 80,000, 120,000, why? Why? That's a lot of people. Why? Keep it low. Tell y'all a secret. 40,000 people's a lot too. Great. They don't have to. I'm gonna be the dick. However, as of Sunday afternoon, the Florida Department of Health's website showed 40,000 people missed. If you're gonna go for that only one shot, you're not really gonna get all gonna be necessarily protected. People that got 2 shots ain't necessarily protected. And the immune response you're gonna get, the protection probably isn't gonna last that long, said Unosh. That's because they saying that, but hold up. It was just a report that Pfizer said that their shots is only going to give you 1 year of protection. Anyway, I ain't never in my whole life have I ever heard, yo, your T cells, the antibodies, your white blood cells that your body make is only good for a year. This is where y'all can tell me I need to stay in my lane and shut up, because I ain't no doctor. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail. Tell me I ain't no doctor. Tell me I need to be quiet. Tell me something. Tell me something, because this is crazy. The COVID-19 vaccine is a 2-part series. To attain maximum protection, you need both shots, the article continues. When they completed the clinical trials, people who had only gotten 1 shot had about 50% protection from getting infected a second time. For the people who had 2 shots, it was about 95%. While there is no one specific reason as to why so many people are missing their second dose, lies, Dr. Unosh says thousands of no-shows could have something to do with possible side effects. You think, nigga? The immune response the second time around is a lot more robust than the first. One of the disadvantages to that is that you may feel a lot cruddier after the second shot. So if you felt like shit after the first shot and they telling you the second shot feels worse, why would you go back for that? Why would you do that? However, he added that symptoms like slight aches and pains and low-grade fever are not cause for alarm. If you do have symptoms, it means it is working. That is a good sign. That is good news. He says that COVID numbers are still on the rise. Receiving both doses of the vaccination is the key to making sure that this pandemic will soon be a distant memory. How will this pandemic soon be a distant memory if now we have a UK strain, a South Africa strain? There is no, and here in New York, they're talking about the UK strain, the new variants will be the strains creating the most of the outbreak here over this cold and flu, which used to be the cold and flu season, which now has turned into the season of corona. If we're ever going to get our lives back, we need to get as many people immune as possible. Interesting read, guys, but I'm a little worried about all this stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm a little worried. Stuff bothers me a lot. It's like they don't have a consistent story for us, and that worries me, because if it's the issues consistent, then you should be able to have a consistent answer for the issue. You should be able to have a consistent answer for the issue. All I know is this is crazy. All I know is this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. But anyway, we should have a consistent way of understanding, guys. We back, we back, we back. Yeah, man. But yeah, piggybacking off what I was saying in the last segment, we gon' we gonna have so many different strains of corona out here in a minute. We gonna need a weed maps for it. Like this is crazy. Shout out to the weed maps dudes, by the way. Very dope platform. Anyway, like that only leads me to having more reluctance over the vaccines, because it's like, how can a vaccine you made yesterday work on a strain of a virus from today? They say not even the flu shot is effective because of so many new strains of the flu shot, evolving and transforming and coming out. Some of the variants of the flu shot. So that the flu shot is like 70, 80% effective in best case scenario, because there's too many strains of that. So what do you do? What do you do against these new strains? How can you say use the old? You can't use your old password to get into your email once you updated it. So how could this old password work against this new email? Work to get me into my new email? You know what I'm saying? If I lose my credit card and they gotta send me a new one, or a new debit card for my bank account, and they're like, oh, you gotta switch your PIN. So my old PIN will not work. Or if they make me just cancel the account because there was some fraud on the account, I cannot use my old account number, my old routing number, my old PINs, the old debit card. I can't use anything associated with that previous account. Everything I have to do with this account going forward is new. There's a new variant of a virus. Wouldn't you need a new medicine to take care of it? So how could this medicine take care of it? And so does that mean now we're going to have to take new medicines every year that this doesn't get under control or under wraps? Hopefully it's under wraps this year. But if it's not under wraps this year, and we go back into the same pattern of, oh, when it gets cold, it gets, that's when it really starts to span out. What do we do, guys? What the hell do we do in that scenario? This can't be the way going forward. Oh, now you got to take even more shots every single year for something new that we can't get a hold of, that we can't get our hands around, that we can't grapple with, that gets worse every season, that the sun is not directly shining above you so brilliantly. I mean, first of all, that may just make everybody move to the places where the sun is greatest at. And then what's going to be the excuse then? Oh, well, those people brought it here. Okay, but don't we have sun here now? So shouldn't it be? Yes, but it's not enough sun. Like, what's going to be the next excuse? What's going to be the next reason? Come on, y'all. We smarter than this. We way too smart for this. This is craziness. This is craziness manifesting right in front of our very eyes. We can't keep seeing this. We can't keep looking at this and saying this makes sense, because it absolutely doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. This is nightmarish. This is nightmarish right here. This is absolutely a nightmare. Shout out to everybody that listens in. I thank you guys so much. I really, really do. You guys make doing this show worthwhile. I say that all the time because I really mean it. Like, y'all really make me appreciate having this amazing audience that rocks with it, that vibes. Y'all appreciate what I'm saying. And I appreciate what y'all appreciate. And speaking of weed maps, once again, I'm a little late to this, but I got to give them love. They came out with a best strains of all time, according to the quote-unquote experts article. And shouts to Weed Maps for this. I don't get to talk about my love for cannabis as much as I would like to on this show. Lies. Lies. But, yeah. So according to weedmaps.com, the best strains of all time, according to quote-unquote the experts, determining the best strains of all time is like trying to pick the best songs of all time. There's an endless amount of factors, epic contenders, and at the end of the day, it all comes down to a matter of taste. Absolutely. Sidebar, some people like indicas, some people like sativas. Indicas, think of them as and I didn't make up this joke, but indica, you can think of it as in the couch. It's the laid back, it's the lean, it's the grooving, it's the relaxing. And sativas, those are the ones that get you up, keep your energy up, get you focused, get you going, get your day moving and grooving. Sativas, indicas, sativas for creativity, social anxiety, depression, appetite issues. I mean, there's so many great benefits of activating a sativa across your endocannabinoid system. And indicas, same thing, There's a benefit for using what they know as the hybrids, something that give you the best of both worlds, as well. But a lot of times these days, all the strains we really get are hybrids, to be honest, because all the strains have been mixed and mashed for so long. It's very hard to just get a completely pure of one or the other strain. You can get strains that are extremely what they call dominant, meaning that it leans really heavily one way or the other. So this is super sativa or this is super indica, based on the different families or different strains or different breeds they crossbred together to whip it up. But you'll very rarely find just a pure sativa, a pure indica strain these days, unless it's a very, very old classical strain and it's still being grown where it was first cultivated. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to get too nerdy into the weed right now, because I can and I will though. We're gonna have some dope episodes just about the cannabis coming up. This year is gonna be a fun year, guys. We're not gonna let them kill our sunshine. We're not gonna let them kill our thunder. We're gonna be wise. We're gonna be wary. We're gonna be patient. We're gonna stay vigilant. We're gonna keep ready, so we ain't got to get ready. But what we won't do is let them kill our sunshine. You know what I'm saying? So going forward, one of the article continues, one of the most incredible things about cannabis is its unwielding versatility. Its ability to morph into a mind-bending amount of varieties is what makes it this meditation on the best strains possible. Yet it's also what makes it difficult for strains to maintain their original high-end integrity. Once a strain becomes popular, versions are hybridized and grown by a multitude of growers and brands, flooding the market with flower that may not even resemble the original cut. All facts. They'll sit here, if let's say you like Girl Scout cookies, they'll come out with platinum cookies or platinum Girl Scout cookies or gorilla cookies. They'll mix it with all these other brands, and then by the end of OG cookies, OG biker cookies, biker OG cookies, like by the Wi-Fi OG cookies, cookie Wi-Fi like white fire cookies, and by the time you do all of that, you can lose the original integrity. The strains may not be a good match with each other, so they may actually counteract each other's positive effects and, give you a real bad experience. All these things happen. Dude, once a strain becomes popular, versions are hybridized and grown by a multitude of growers, flooding the market with flower that may not even resemble the original cut. Genetics get watered down over time and crossbred into oblivion. As with New York Sour Diesel, which revolutionized the cannabis market in NYC in the late 90s and early 2000s, great strains are ephemeral. It's a fact. They live on forever. They live on forever, man. While still popular, the Sour Diesel you're picking up at your local dispensary doesn't hold a candle to the original cut Manhattanites we're paying $100 a gram for. $100 a gram. Jesus. In 2007. $100 a gram, yo. Damn. However, not all legendary strains have faded over time. Many of those that made this list are alive and well and readily available. To determine the best strains of all time, as well as what makes a strain quote unquote great, we spoke to some of the most knowledgeable experts in the weed industry and the growers behind the strains themselves. What makes a great strain? While there are numerous factors that contribute to a strain's greatness, the defining characteristic of a great strain, is the smell. And I absolutely agree with this. If I smell some flowers, some buds, y'all, and it don't, like, the first thing that nose gotta hit me, and then I look at the flowers. You know what I'm saying? Then I look at the physical characteristics. How is it sparkling? You know what I mean? How the trichomes is looking. Those that don't know what trichomes is, like the crystals that's on the flowers themselves. Some flowers, some buds have way more crystals than others. Some are fully crystal, the iced out. Some have much more conservative crystal coatings. And those trichomes, the more they are there, they can make the flowers be much more potent and also help, bring out the flavor palette as well. So there's a big science behind this, man. I'm very much into the buds heavy. I study it. I love it. So we spoke to some of the most knowledgeable experts in the weed industry and the growers behind the strains themselves, right? It's all about the terpene profile, says Aaron of DNA Genetics, a weed legend responsible for some of the most famous strains: LA Confidential, Tangy, Holy Grail Kush, just to name a few, and sought after genetics in the world. Flavonoids, terpenes, aroma, smell, taste, those are the most important things to me right off the bat. Chia Rodriguez, the second generation cultivator behind Riverside Riverside Farms, a Mendocino operation distributed by Arcana Flowers, puts an equal emphasis on the flower's smell transferring to the flavor of the smoke. When asked what makes a strain great, Rodriguez shared high terpenes and something that has a unique nose and kind of hits you in the face when you open the drawer. Amen to that. It's got that smell. It's got to be appealing. It's got to be attractive. It's got to be nice. Oh, what's the point? What's the point? A lot of people like to buy a lot of inexpensive cannabis, because it's within a budget, and I respect that. But I would much rather spend a little bit more on my flowers and get a good quality flower. Until you link with the Plitug, and the Plitug bless you with some good quality flowers for the low, you may have to spend a little bit more on your cannabis just to make sure you're getting good quality cannabis. But don't just buy name brand cannabis, because a lot of bootleg name brand cannabis is going around right now, guys, and it can turn out that it's not really worth it. So just something to think about. She continued, once we're done growing a new strain, I like to roll it in a joint and do a dry hit. That to me is the most fun part. It's important in this dry hit that you're tasting what you're smelling. If the flavor carries through when you smoke it, that's the indicative that you have something really good. In addition to a stellar terpene profile that carries into the smoke experience, a balanced cannabinoid profile is key as well. For Julia Jacobson, CEO of the Mendocino-based environmentally conscious brand Astor Farms, potency comes second to a great cannabinoid profile. For me, it's really not just about the potency, she said. It's about the actual balanced effect that I'm getting, and it's about having a really deep high, as opposed to that kind of superficial thing that you get when something's been juiced for potency. That's a fact. Like, people can go so hard trying to make you have this insane high experience that it can kind of take away from the good time you're supposed to have with the high. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get panic attacks and stuff because they're smoking stuff that has these insanely high cannabinoid values, these insane high THC percentages, and it wasn't naturally grown to have that high of a content. They're increasing the THC levels, and inversely, that has a relationship to the CBD, or the what people would consider the healing part of the plant. And the more THC content you have in a plant, inversely, you're cutting down its CBD content. So you're lending to people the probability of having panic attacks or a bad trip more because of these insanely high levels of THC. So, which is why I really encourage people, please, if you can, get you some CBD and cut it in your oils, cut it in your flowers, because that's going to cut back on the probabilities of you having like these insane panic attacks. Just the word to the wise, gang. And sometimes it don't hurt just to smoke straight CBD. Just let a CBD blunt hit your system and just activate all the niceness. Just a word to the wise. Just a word to the wise. So the article continues. The final contributing factor that can make a strain great is its influence on the weed world at large. These strains rose to popularity because of their unique terpene profiles, but went on to be cultural phenoms in their own right, helping to shape the products and crosses we enjoy today. Check out some of the best strains of all time, according to quote unquote their experts, gang. NYC Sour Diesel, definitely agree. With its astronomical price tag, again, guys, some people paying $100 a gram back in the heyday of the 90s and 2000s, cult following, and stellar terpene profile, NYC Sour Diesel revolutionized the NYC weed world when it exploded on the scene in the late 90s. To discuss the importance of this strain, we went straight to the source and spoke to the man behind the legend, AJ Sour Diesel, Sour Diesel was a bag seed that came from Chemdog in the mid 90s, said AJ. Some people, myself included, put it out there and made a lifestyle out of it. It just blew up and became a cultural icon. So it's all about the branding. It was all about selling the story of this strain that came off of Chemdog, which is another really, really good strain. But that's what a lot of people are trying to do these days as well. Sell a lifestyle and sell a quality and make a brand. And that's how you can have like the Jay-Z's come out with these high-end luxury brands for $70 for a quart, like eighths and stuff. You have these luxury brands because it comes with a lifestyle associated to it. It comes with this high level artist associated. Jim Jones, I believe, has a strain. Snoop has a strain. Mike Tyson has a strain. Sean Kemp just recently opened his dispensary. When you have these high level players associated with the brands, number one, a lot of people in the industry intake and engage in cannabis. So having people in the industry have their own brands, they know that they're going to get top of the quality access to quality products and also great service because they're going to be one of the more high-end customers of these brands. So you have that going on. And then number two, they just like to shop within their circles. But it's dope. So branding is the long and short of that. When you create a brand, when you create a story, the story sells, helps people to appeal to the brand, relate to the brand, and the branding itself helps to generate with the generating of the buzz. So very dope, very key stuff. It was a specialty product because New York had a specialty market that allowed for the product to exist. It probably couldn't have existed in many other places because there wouldn't have been a market and an opening in the market for something like that. It was a very expensive product compared to what else was around and what was coming from Canada, Cali, and other places. As a college student new to New York in the late 2000s, I can personally attest that AJ's Sour Diesel cut was far and away the most coveted strain. Not only available to the who's who of Manhattan weed heads with $100 per gram price tag, exceptional high, and an aura of influence. It seems it remains one of the best highs and best flowers I've ever encountered. While the original cut lives up to the reputation that precedes it, the sour diesels of today greatly vary. There's a lot of faux sours out there, man, explained AJ, but some of them are actually pretty good. Sometimes someone will give me a call and say, I think this is the original sour, and I'll get a cut and grow it out. It never is, but it's still really good. When it comes down to it, there's no real authentication process, and I can't go around checking. So, who knows? Maui Wowie, that Maui Wowie. Yeah, Maui Wowie was that stuff. That's that stuff that Kid Cudi wrote songs about. Aside from being a personal favorite, Maui Wowie made the list of a number of our experts. With a piney, peppery profile and a high that's equal parts uplifting and stress neutralizing, it is the perfect strain for daytime users. When Astor Farms' Julia Jacobson's tolerance to NYC Diesel was getting too high to properly benefit from its effects, which tends to happen when you smoke the same strain every day for 12 years, he turned to Maui Wowie for support. And she elaborated, Maui Wowie was my go-to when I had to wean off a sour because my tolerance was getting too high. Since I've been in California, I would say Astor Farms Maui Wowie is my newest everyday go-to. Other strains on the list include Tangy, OG Kush, which is a personal favorite of mine. I especially love the Biker OG. Super Silver Haze, which I've never heard of. And last but not least, we have Super Silver Haze, undoubtedly one of the best sativas of all time, with a legendary legacy to match as a cross of skunk, Northern Lights. Oh, Northern Lights used to be my shizit back in the day. And everybody likes a good haze. So this was a cross between skunk, Northern Lights, and haze. Very nice. It rose to prominence in the late 90s and was the first winner at the High Times Cannabis Cup in 97, 98, and 99. Not only did it have a great terpene profile of pepper and citrus, but the high is also extremely energetic, euphoric, and great for getting stuff done. Very nice. Very nice. So that's definitely dope. Shout to Weed Maps for that article. And secondly, one article while we're still here, 9 weed strains to look forward to in 2021, also courtesy of Weed Maps. Every year we look ahead and try to guess what might be the biggest weed strain for the next 365 days. It's just a natural thing to do since we as fellow consumers are determined to stay on top of the freshest and hottest trends. For 2021, we scoped out which strains are sure to continue the momentum built in previous years, as well as some strains that are showing blow up potential. Here are 9 strains to look out for in 2021. Wedding Cake. Yeah, I love me some Wedding Cake, especially the ones by Jungle Brothers. Jungle Brothers Wedding Cake, absolutely amazing. So the article says in 2021, Wedding Cake is sure to remain one of the most popular strains in the world, also known as pink cookies, which I did not know. I've had pink cookies and I've had wedding cake. I didn't know they were the same strain. Is a indica dominant hybrid that was bred by Seed Junkie Genetics. I've had Seed Junkies wedding cake as well as some of their other strains. Seed Junkies, this stuff is amazing. It's a phenotype of a cross between Triangle Kush and Animal Mints that produces a sweet, doughy, vanilla-like strain, and it's absolutely swept the cannabis world by storm over the past couple years. Runts. We've all heard whispers of the people hating on runts, but no matter how you feel about the strain, the hype around it will continue to surge. And from that, we'll continue to get runts, crosses, and phenotypes while continuing to puff on this sweet, fruity, grassy plant that gets you dumb high from its right grower. If it's from the right grower. Runts is a cross of Zittles and Gelato. And I've had Zittles. Zittles is one of my favorite strains, period. I love it in flowers. I love it as a vape. Zittles is amazing. Zittles is amazing. Zittles is amazing. And Gelato. I love Gelato. I love Gelato 42. Gelato is really nice. It became famous for its frosty purple profile and pungent, sweet, fruity, and gassy terpene profile. Most people feel relaxed and happy after smoking. Strains with its genetics include Runts OG, White Runts, Raspberry Runts, Pink Runts, and the list goes on and on and on. Even Exotic Genetics has a rainbow chip in Runts. It's called Runts Buttons. GMO cookies, a great one as well. Pink Rose, never heard of this one. Pink Rose, one of the 3 strains from the Rick Ross and Cookies Collins Avenue collab. Wow, that's dope. It is seeing a huge increase in search interest, which makes sense considering people want to smoke like the boss, Ricky Rose. Pink Rose is an indica with London Pound Cake is one of my favorite strains, period. London Pound Cake is one of the best strains of all time. London Pound Cake. Fresh. Yeah, that's why I had to put it in the song. London Pound Cake. Ah, let us. And Limoncello 10 parentage. Its THC content frequently soars past 20%. Pink Rosé has a distinct fruity scent and delivers strong, lasting effects that ultimately leave you feeling happy in mind and relaxed in body. Apple fritter is very good. I've had it as well. It has a very sweet taste to it. It's very nice. Apple fritter has started to surge in search interest as growers and consumers alike become more interested in apple flavored cannabis. Lumpy Flowers made apple fritter from crossing animal cookies and sour apple. It's said to have a sweet and earthy flavor. It definitely does. I can definitely attest. I've had tons of, I paper plane it. I put it in nice raw papers with a tip. Nothing else in between it or around it. And I be tasting all of that appley goodness. I get it from the good. Shouts to that kitchen, man. The kitchen be blessing me. It's said to have a sweet and earthy flavor as well as a relaxing high that's chill, puts people in a chill and happy mood. Kush Mints, another very good one. Kush Mints has been around for a couple years at this point, but search interest for it continues to rise. Seed Junkie Genetics, shout to them. Their stuff is so good. Who by now you can see has blessed the game with so many legendary strains, gave us Kush Mints from a cross between Bubba Kush and Animal Mints. It has a somewhat citrus and minty flavor that gives way to a relaxing high. Wi-Fi cake, which is a mix between wedding cake and gelato, not familiar with it, and jungle cake. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Wedding cake continued its popularity. We're sure to have even more hybrids currently. You're probably most familiar with ice cream cake and jungle cake. Excuse me. In 2021, we expect to see Wi-Fi cake push the cake namesake to even deeper into the cannabis culture. Wi-Fi cake is a jungle boy, shout to them, creation at Crossing Wedding Cake, which they are super known for with the legendary White Fire OG, also known as Wi-Fi. And I've had some really, really good Wi-Fi. Tapped into that Wi-Fi, because I got the plug. Yeah, get it from the mothership pack, something up above. Bonkers is absolute fire and could definitely have a big year. And there's a couple of versions of it out there, but one of them is the Exotics Genetics, and crosses their Cookies and Cream, Cookies and Cream is so good, y'all. And I had cereal milk the other day too. Shouts to the vendor. They had blessed me with some cereal milk, and I had some Sharks. That was really, really good. Yeah, some of the other strains on this list are apples and bananas. I haven't had apples and bananas. Who is this? What's this? Platinum Cookies and Granddaddy Purple. Mmm. Mmm. Cross that hybrid with gelati. And that's what. Hold up. They crossed Platinum Cookies and Granddaddy Purple compounds with a blue power plant, then crossed that hybrid with gelati. And that gave them apples and bananas. That is nice. I like that. No, I definitely got to check that out. That sounds super nice. Shout out to Dante Jordan, excellent writing. Shout out to Weed Maps. Great article. Great articles, guys. Yeah, man. This is your boy Phantm Phuego. We're gonna take a quick intermission, gang. We'll be right back. Yeah, gang. So let's talk about some NBA news. First and foremost, shout out to my dude. You know what I mean? Shout to the young brother, I should say. Not to my dude. Shout to the young brother, Cole Anthony. Putting the city on his back, putting in work, second clutch shot in a big game so far, helping lead the Orlando Magic into a new era. Can't wait to see him and Mo Bamba playing together for the Magic and really bringing a lot of that New York energy out there. I think those two give them very nice, solid cornerstones for a very bright future out there. I think the pick and roll between those two would be a nightmare. Yeah, I think it's really good. You got a lot of New York hustle coming into that Orlando Magic. And I think that's a great thing. I think that's a great look. He hit the buzzer beater to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Sliding off into the right corner, 3-pointer, splash in the pocket, gets loved, embraced, runs off the court. I mean, that's what a way to start your rookie season, you know. Having amazing performances, getting to finally go up against your rival Melo, him cooking you, you cooking him back. You know, they definitely both gonna be in the running in the top 5 for the rookie of the year this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if both of them separate themselves into the top 3 of the final spots with either Wiseman or what other rookie would I say might be making a case. I think Melo just is going so. It's just the popularity of Melo, and if he keeps killing like he is, I mean, damn. But Cole is definitely making a case for himself. James Wiseman is definitely making a very, very solid case for himself. I don't know any other rookies making a case as strongly as the 3 of them right now. Yeah, I think I would definitely put the 3 of them in a class by themselves. Yeah, that's really it. We'll see how that shakes up, though. We'll definitely see how that shakes up. But anyway, as you guys have already seen, of course, the New Jersey Nets have solidified their chances to go out of the East to the finals with the acquisition of James Harden. And I feel like a lot of people are hating on him and not giving him a chance to get it together. People want this team to be broken apart so bad because that trio is not supposed to win. You got KD, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. Those are the 3 people love to hate. Now you got them on a team together. Like, come on. Doesn't make any sense. Like, every single article I see about them is hating on them. Like, they lost to Colin Sexton in the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. But Colin Sexton killed. He killed. He killed. The dude went to work. He had like 7, 8 threes last night. The dude had an absolute monster game. He forced 2 overtimes against them. I mean, he put on a brilliant performance. That's what they were hoping the young bull would turn into when he got to the NBA. That's what they were hoping. As soon as he's such a hard worker. If he puts his head down and works on his jump shot, he's such a hard worker. If he puts his head down and work on his jump shot, man, adding that intensity on defense, adding that I don't care attitude to a jump shot, an NBA range jump shot, technically proficient, technically sound, balanced, consistent confidence. Man. He had a killer game. That was the game he had to have. That was the game he had to have for them to win. And he did it. He put his team on his back like he's supposed to. So I don't think you could hold that against the Nets because the Cavs know that playing against the Nets is the closest thing they're going to get to being in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. So if they can show out against a team of that caliber, they're going to, everybody was already expecting the Cavs to have a really strong season coming in. Their young prize players is starting to maximize their talent. They also now have added Andre Drummond to the box to play along with Larry Nance Jr., hometown kid. So you got Larry Nance, you got Andre Drummond, Colin Sexton. They got some amazing guard play. They got Kevin Porter Jr., but it looks like they're getting him up out of there, which is shocking to me because I thought that with Kevin Porter Jr., Colin Sexton, Andre Drummond, Larry Nance, a couple other players I'm forgetting, City Osman. They've been putting together. They've been quietly collecting a lot of talent in Cleveland, and I thought they would definitely want to try to see if they can make some noise. But I guess they're gonna get Kevin Porter up out of there. He hasn't really been working for them. I wouldn't be surprised. Malik Monk doesn't seem to be working in Buzz City with the Charlotte Hornets, and Kevin Porter. A Malik Monk for Kevin Porter trade would actually make a lot of sense and be dope, and it would give number one, it would give Malik Monk the reset that he needs, and it would give both of those guys a fresh start somewhere else. And they're both amazing elite talents in this league that just need an opportunity to shine. So I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Some people saying, "Oh, should the Knicks take a flyer on him and bring him in to be like the next James Harden?" I don't know if Kevin Porter Jr.'s attitude's a good fit for New York. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all entertainment, all fun and games anyway. But you know, I don't know. I just think that we finally need some stars in New York that's ready to just put their heads down and work. Um, I don't know. I think RJ is an example of that, and I think they are starting to build something nice there. I think that they should be looking to get a guy like, if they're gonna start breaking up that Knicks core, Bradley Beal. To be honest, I would get Bradley Beal over in a Knicks uniform ASAP before I got anybody else. You know what I mean? I would have said initially go after Devin Booker, but now that they got Chris Paul there, and he's helping Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton build out their core along with Miles Bridges. So we'll see, we'll see. But yeah. In NBA news, people hating, people hating, people hating, people hating, people hating, people hating, people hating. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about NBA news. Trae Young hit the dagger from deep as the Hawks beat the Pistons. Overtime, 123 to 115. Sexton's 42 helps beat the Nets. Golden State cooks San Antonio. I mean, I think that's just been going on for entirely too many years now for us to sound surprised. Do 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 do. Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom. The Grizzlies and Blazers had to postpone their game due to COVID restrictions. It is starting to get crazy in the league, guys. Wednesday's game between the Memphis Grizzlies and Portland Trail Blazers was postponed. The NBA cited ongoing contract tracing within the Grizzlies, which will leave Memphis without at least 8 available players. Is about to shut it down again? The second postponement from the day's slate of action after the league pushed back the Charlotte Hornets home matchup with the Washington Wizards due to contract tracing within the Wizards. The Grizzlies and Blazers are scheduled to play again Friday in Portland. It's unclear whether that game will be affected as well. Memphis last played Monday evening, beating the Phoenix Suns 108 to 104. Head coach Taylor Jenkins had 10 players take the floor. This is the second postponement for the Grizzlies. They were able to play the Minnesota Timberwolves last Friday. They were unable to play the Minnesota Timberwolves last Friday, I should say, due to contact tracing on Minnesota. The Blazers, meanwhile, completed all 14 games on their schedule prior to Wednesday's announcement. Many teams are either having to play shorthanded or delay games to satisfy the terms of the NBA's health and safety protocols. However, the team isn't planning to pause action. We anticipated that there would be game postponements this season and planned the schedule accordingly. NBA spokesman Mike Bass told ESPN's Woj on January 10th, there are no plans to pause the season. We will continue to be guided with our medical experts and health and safety protocols. Instead, the league is amending the protocols in an effort to address the situation. For example, team security guards will stand at half court before and after games to limit the contact between opposing players, according to Shams Charania of The Athletic. They will stand at half court. Like, that is, I mean, just think of the times that what type of message does that send? We gonna have guards, y'all grown men, but we gonna have guards stand here so y'all don't talk to each other and y'all stay socially distant. Because the only time you're allowed to not be socially distant is when you here doing your job for me. A job they get highly paid to do, but it's like people calling Kyrie crazy. But look at the restrictions. Look at these restrictions. So speaking of Kyrie, so let's delve into this article inside the Kyrie Harden problem, quote unquote. Rival team execs, the Kyrie Harden problem. NBA insiders question the Brooklyn Nets big three fit. James Harden minted his Brooklyn Nets debut with a 32-point triple-double. 2 nights later, Harden and Kevin Durant each scored 30-plus points during a thrilling 125-123 over two-time reigning MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Their triples and dashes to the rim dominated the Eastern Conference Finals showdown. The potential Eastern Conference Finals showdown. Brooklyn looks like a world beater with Harden in the fold, and it suddenly stands as the odds favorite to advance out of the East, with Harden's contract guaranteed only through 21-22. The time is indeed now for the Nets, and with Kyrie Irving expected to play Wednesday against Cleveland, which they unfortunately lost, it seems as though the Nets' new triumvirate will soon finally be unleashed. Many rival team personnel, however, shared skepticism that Brooklyn's group of all-stars will mesh as well as modern-day big threes before them, which is super ridiculous. They're highly intelligent basketball players. How could they not make it work? The Nets are not the 07-08 Celtics. That talented group fits snugly like a long-lost puzzle pieces. Ray Allen's lethal jumper providing space for Paul Pierce's mid-range dances, while Kevin Garnett played the heartbeat of Boston's stifling defense. The Nets' new collection of all-stars boasts far less complementary games. I completely disagree. You have a 7-foot-tall Kevin Durant who can play in the box. He's comfortable playing 4. He's comfortable playing 3. He's comfortable playing 2. Hell, he can run the 1. And he'll play the 5 sometimes if necessary in a small ball lineup. He's proved it over and over again. So you got Kevin Durant who can play 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But let's say for the sake of this argument, we want to keep him at 2, 3, and 4, right? You got him who can play 2, 3, and 4. You've got a 6'5", 6'6" James Harden who can play 2, 3, small ball 4. Doubt you'll ever put him there, but let's say he can play 1, 2, and 3, right? Then you got Kyrie Irving who can play 1 or 2. He's played off the ball when he's played with LeBron. He's played on the ball when he's played with LeBron. He's played off the ball when he's played in Boston. He's played on the ball when he's played in Boston. He can run off screens and shoot jumpers. He can hit jumpers in corners. He can hit jumpers at the top of the key. He can pass the ball. He can drive the lane. He can dish. He can run your offense. He can break his man down. He can hit timely key jumpers. He has the most insane layup package, I would argue, isn't available on any player in the league right now, thanks to being the godson of Rod Strickland and, the son of Dredrick Irving. 2 dudes who are amazingly talented ball guards. So you put all that together, you have 2 dudes who can play the 2. You have 3 dudes who can play 1 or 2. 2 dudes who can play 2 or 3. 2 dudes who could technically play 3 or 4. 1 dude could play 4 or 5. How do their games not fit? How do their games not fit? It makes no sense, but whatever. The critics once doubted the 07-06 the Celtics' ability to coexist in terms of reducing scoring loads and shot attempts. This net group faces those same doubts, especially since Harden and Irving are both seemingly prefer to score while pounding the rock. This is different because their games don't necessarily fit One Eastern Conference assistant coach said, whatever, Kevin Durant will always be Kevin Durant. He's perhaps the most malleable scorer in the history of the game. His unparalleled size and dexterity are the ultimate cheat code. In Golden State, he, Steph Curry, and Clay ran wild with a worrying scheme where each scorer knew if they hit the next pass and cut hard, the ball would soon find them. Again, with all of the space to post historic numbers. Yeah, but there was times when KD didn't want to do that shit, and he deliberately went away from that to play a one-man game. So whatever. Boston's dynamic presents something not nearly as idyllic. Durant's jumper will still rain down on foes near and far, but both Harden and Irving have typically operated as primary ball handlers, weaving dribbles between their legs and slithering off high screen after high screen. Yes, there is only one ball, and maybe more pressing, only one player at a time can initiate that pick and roll at the top of the key. So what? You can stagger their minutes if there needs to be that, if their issue persists. What is the point? Both of them can run the one. Both Harden and Kyrie can run the one. Both Harden and Kyrie can run the two. Both of them can be your primary ball handler. Both of them can be your off-the-ball ball handler. Kyrie is the ball handler that Harden has prayed to play with this entire time. Somebody who can spell him so he won't get tired. Somebody who can give him the other options that he needs on the floor. Somebody who can just take the hell over. I do not understand what they're talking about. This is exactly what these players have wanted, and I think these players will rise to the occasion and take advantage of it. Coaches often repeated cliche that the ball has energy. When Harden's Rockets were battling Durant's Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, there's a reason why Houston's defense was predicated on switching. Houston wanted Golden State to attack one-on-one mismatches. Sure, Durant, Curry, and Thompson got theirs. Those three can settle for a tough jumper on any possession, but when the ball isn't humming around the perimeter and other teammates aren't getting involved, they're stranded in the corner observing. Just like the courtside fans behind them, the oxygen is drained from an otherwise roaring offense, even when your stars are keeping pace. Now imagine if the unengaged teammate is Irvin or Harden rather than Andre Iguodala. Stop it. You really saying Andre Iguodala or Sean Livingston are better teammates to have to run an offense with than Kyrie Irving and I love Iggy. I love Sean Livingston, one of my favorite players ever of all time, and I mean that over a lot of other players. Sean Livingston, I love tall point guards. 6'6", 6'7" from Peoria, could jump out the gym, was supposed to be the next Magic, but he had that unfortunate leg injury, but still was able to win a couple rings at the end of the Warriors bench, but never got to fully live out the potential he may have had, but still was the consummate professional. I love Sean Livingston. Listen. Stop this nonsense. Bleacher Report don't write these nonsense articles no more, man. This is trash. This is not even writing. This is a joke. Y'all really about to sit here and try to say that somehow running an offense with stop it. I'm not even going to read that shit again. Rival personnel are plenty curious whether Brooklyn's group can avoid falling into the isolation trap. Many coaches polled by Bleacher Report expect the Nets to run a fair share of isolations with Harden and Irving, letting them attack the weakest defender, one NBA coach said. So what? What is your point? If I have three players that can attack the weakest defender, that can break their man down, let them do that each for 10, 15 possessions a game. That's 10, 15 possessions. That's literally 30 possessions that they can run, that I do not have to worry about anything else but them doing something smart, like a drive and dish, a drive and kick, or breaking a man down, free throw extended. Shut up. Like, they're not going to be double teamed. They're not going to be triple teamed because two more of them are on the court, and they will automatically, and you can't leave those two people. If you have those two on the court, plus James Harden, if you have Harden and Kyrie on the wing, and Kevin Durant is breaking his man down, if you leave the center open, boom, that's a pass down to DeAndre Jordan, real fast dunk, boom. You leave, if KD's playing the 4, if you leave the 5 open, pass to the 5. If you double team me from the 5, boom, dumb down to the 5. If he's playing the small ball 5, kick it out to Harden or Kyrie. If they the ones that somebody breaks off to try to double team you in the post, this I could run this offense. We're not going to talk about if Steve Nash can run this offense, because I could. If Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire can figure out how to make those three people play, like let's just stop. Article continues to say they'll look to punish switches and likely succeed in doing so, but relying on your stars to beat their man off the dribble is untenable over 48 minutes, and skeptics around the league wonder how Irving will handle playing second fiddle to Hart. I just be like, I gaslight when y'all write articles. There will be an inevitable stretches where both stars flank the other's dribble creation from the wing. But by all accounts, the Beard is poised to serve as Brooklyn's normal point guard and leading ball handler, while Kyrie get frustrated and start to launch every time he gets a touch. Will Harden then do the same? The key to finding that balance seems to be through layers of discourse. Will they buy in? It's about their level of communication more than anything, one scout said. Brooklyn's coaching staff and front office will be tasked with preaching a message of sacrifice, everything from shots, touches, and minutes to glory and attention. One rival coach told Bleacher Report about the importance of learning each other's individual goals to balance how they can achieve them within the Nets' overall structure. Getting to know them as people before knowing them as players shouldn't prove much of a challenge, giving Brooklyn assistant Mike D'Antoni's long-standing relationship with Harden and the Nets front office having already spent a full season with Irving and Durant. Perhaps Brooklyn will stagger Irving and Harden's minutes, which one coach suggested would optimally start halfway through the first quarter. Sending Harden to the bench early could immediately provide Irving a long stretch conducting Brooklyn's scoring attack. However, some suggest Harden might be better suited to orchestrate the second unit. James is a better passer, one assistant coach said. Irving has always been a scorer first, putting his head down for his array of fallaways and mid-range jumpers without Irving applying pressure all the way at the rim. Disagree, he does put pressure all the way at the rim, cut it out. Help defenders can stay home, especially against a bench lineup. There is no rotation, and Irving isn't drawing double teams. What? Stop it. He rarely kicks the ball on drives. Not true to a spotted up teammate who's ready to attack a closeout. Of course, because he kicks it out for people to shoot. Why would you kick it out to a teammate who's ready to attack a closeout? He just dumps it off to the big man who can attack the closeout. During the 2016 playoffs, for example, Irving's field goal attempts practically doubled once LeBron took a breather. Well, that's what's supposed to happen. Brooklyn can avoid a lot of half-court clutter by continuing to punish foes in transition. The Nets currently rank 5th in the league in pace, and that dangerous open court attack only encouraging hit-ahead passes and ball movement that should keep all three stars well fed. But when the ball slows, tactics will prove critical. So far, we've seen Brooklyn use Joe Harris frequently as a screener for Harden because Brooklyn Joe know what he's doing. That action will continue to stretch defenses, even with Irving and Durant's immense gravity on the floor, allowing either plenty of room to operate if the ball gets swung their way. That's a fact because Brooklyn Joe got that cannon. And as long as they keep shooters around on the floor with those three, there's no way you can stop it. If they keep a Brooklyn Joe on the floor, if they pick up at least one more shooter that's really like a dead-eye marksman, keep Brooklyn Joe happy, keep him under contract for the next 2-3 seasons, re-sign Irving, run this thing back a few more times. It's very scary what they can do. It's very scary what they can do. They got TLC, Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot. I don't know if he's much of a knockdown shooter. He's definitely more of an athletic wing defender. Can definitely hit a few threes. But and I know they have Taurean Prince as well, who can definitely play in that same 3-and-D mode a bit. So they definitely have some people that can spread the floor out as these guys go to work and create a bunch of switching and defensive nightmares for the opposition. But it'll be fun to watch. But the media got to get off this. The media is going to try to break them up all season and have them infighting and all this little girl stuff. And it's so annoying to watch that stuff go down. It really is. Like, we need this relief right now. Well, not really need it because there's more important shit to pay attention to. But the people that's out here going crazy, doing wild, there's nothing wrong with them relieving their tensions and their stresses by seeing these amazing super teams come together at this moment. You know, I think the NBA is one of those leagues that can really bring different people together, of all walks of life, to watch, to watch a silly game. Of course, come on, there's nothing big or mind blowing that's happening at this time. Nothing that they're not saving cancer, they're not curing the world, they're not coding the new cryptocurrencies, they're not, building the next app that's gonna, revolutionize anything. They're not building the next, engine that works off solar power and is gonna kill the oil industry. I get all of that. But sometimes, guys, those little reliefs can be helpful. Can be very helpful. And of course, the bigger power structures, they have much more esoteric, behind the scenes, secretive meanings to those games anyway, that the Mayans created. Don't get it twisted. The Mayans, ain't no James Naismith create no damn basketball. The Mayans created basketball. The Mayans had basketball courts all across South America. And Mesoamerica, Middle America, Mexico. There's ball courts. Like, dudes really was out there playing ball, like getting to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous that they don't give them the credit they deserve for that, and they give it to James Naismith. He invented basketball, the game of basketball as we play it today. But we have to give the roots of the game to where it initially belongs, and that is with the Mayans. Olmecs and Mayans both were playing ball, invented rubber balls, and we're using them to great entertainment of their fans. It was very much not just a game, but it was a festival. It was spiritual. It was almost metaphysical for them. It was a ceremony. It represented war games to a degree for them. They didn't always have to have a war if they could just send their sporting champions against the other tribes or empires sporting champions, and then pick the slaves and the spoils of war from that. So we definitely see deeper meaning with these things. So they good, man. I think the energy that they can create is positive, except when evil people take that energy and take the messages that these people and the influence that these stars, these athletes can have, and use it for negative things. Like if they have, I agree with a lot of the other, podcasters I've been hearing say this lately, that if they use a lot of the NBA athletes to kind of create a widespread campaign for vaccine awareness, I would probably be done with the NBA for this season. Like I completely shut it off last season when I started seeing certain things. And if they are used for that, to campaign people to take the shot, I'd probably be done. That would probably, I came back this year because I wanted to celebrate the LaMelo Ball situation, and the fact that KD and the Nets is together. KD and James Harden is on the Nets now. That's really cool. But if I start seeing players publicly come out trying to sell people on taking shots, I'll probably be done. Like if they start giving out tickets to games for shots, like they're giving out pot for shots in DC, I'd probably be done. Yeah. Y'all don't even know if that's good weed in DC. And if it is, just go buy it. God damn it. Don't take a shot for it. If they have to give you weed or money, or your job has to, stop, guys. Stop. That's dangerous as hell. That's playing a very dangerous game. That's dangerous as hell. That's playing a super dangerous game. And if you can't afford weed, then what are you going to work for in the first place? You need to find a better job any damn way, or start your own business, because that shit obviously ain't working. But that's all I'm going to say about that, y'all. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay focused, stay warm, stay calm. Keep Keep it cool. Let cooler heads prevail. Congratulations to the new cabinet. You know, let's move forward now. Let's try to unify and heal and get things going. You know what I'm saying? Those who want to take the shots, good for you. Kudos. But don't tell me that your shot only works if I take a shot too. Don't tell me that, because that doesn't make any sense. Let people have their own time. Take it in their own time. Respect people wanting to do their research and get second and third and fourth opinions and wanting to see how this thing, spins out a little bit. There's been a lot of stuff thrown under the rug about this thing already, and that's not cool. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Twice a week we get it in. Sundays, Wednesdays, Thursday-ish. Twice a week we get to it like we do it. You know how we go crazy. Love you guys so much. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bells so you're alerted when it comes on your particular platform. Shout to Anchor, shout to Spotify, shout to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Definitely appreciate it. We out here, we doing it. Radio Republic, Overcast. Shout to every single platform that lets us rock out. Please make sure to turn on the notifications on your particular platform so every time we post up, you can check it out first. Spread it out to your friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend. His ghetto point of view. We get to it. Shouts to AJ's Kitchen. Always blessing us. Serving us good vegan food. Vegan Americana. I love it. I love it. I love it. Happiness served. Order up. AJ's Kitchen. That's KITCHINN. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. Serving NYC area. Peace, gang. We out here.